Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah. So, welcome everyone to my atelier in Harlem on this very brisk New York City night. I appreciate all of you coming out, braving the weather to get here. Tonight, we want to celebrate the launch of Lust, Oud Delice, created by perfumer extraordinaire Alexis Grugeon. If you're not familiar with Alexis, he has been becoming an incredible star in perfume, creating some incredible fragrances, but more importantly, creating the fragrance of the evening, Lust. The idea behind the fragrance is to basically talk about the emotion of lust, because in my world, I feel like I must lust for you before I love you. So I wanted to create something very intoxicating, something very sensual, something very deep. And I think we accomplished that with the fragrance, and we'll get around to smelling the actual fragrance. But first, I want to hear a little bit from Alexi so he can tell you a little bit about himself, and then we can get into the journey of how we actually got here.
Yeah, so my name is Alexis Grugeon. Thank you for all your kind words. And first of all, this is our first time working together, so I think it's quite special. And yeah, we just met for the first time, maybe a year ago or something like that, and just talking about fragrances in general. And I'm perfumer, so I create fragrances, but I also based in New York, and I think that's very special because we're here tonight in New York. And I don't know, we just like start chit-chatting about life in general, and connected well. And then yeah, just starting, smelling fragrances, accords, stuff like that. And then sometime Chris was like, and sometimes he was smiling. I was like, okay, there's something there, something there. And yeah, you're gonna smell the new fragrance we created together. And we're gonna smell also raw materials, how we created it, how the exchange was, and yeah.
Well, and a special shout out to the Firmenich team, who they have been incredible since I met Paige Casey. Where are you? She's in the back. She's incredible. She told me that she was eyeing me for a little while, and she normally gets what she wants. And she brought me in, and the second we started to explore different ideas with Alexi, they knew the brand ethos, they knew the DNA, they knew exactly where I wanted to go with the perfume. And oftentimes when you create a fragrance, sometimes you go in with an idea, a name, a feeling, an emotion, and then you brief the perfumer, and then the perfumer says, okay, well, I've made this for you. But on this occasion, they said, we want you to come in and smell some fragrances from Alexi. So we had this, we smelled a bunch of incredible fragrances. And of course, Bella, I have to call you out on this. She knew that she saved the best for last because this was the last fragrance on the list. And she says, I know when Chris smells this, he's going to love it. And as soon as I smelled it, I was like, what is this? So I did not go with an idea of what I was going to launch, but Alexi created something so special. And this is a story that I wanted to tell about lust. And this actually fit perfectly. So that's how we connected.
Yep.
And that's how we got to this place, right?
Yeah, and I think also like what you said is like, yeah, discovering your fragrances and you had this already, I think, this idea of like lust and sensuality and etc. We smell a couple of things, and I think something special that you have is the passion, which we do also, in the team. And I think just like Bella bringing it on and saying, no, this is what you need, Chris. You smelled, and I remember like you loved it. But then you went on vacation, right?
Yes.
That's what I remember. Yeah. You went on vacation, like we'll give you samples.
And then I was like, wait a minute. Then I said, we have to go back. We have to revisit this one. Because it was like nothing I ever smelled before. If anyone knows any of my fragrances, I'm a huge gourmand lover. And this will definitely be the most delicious oud that you've ever smelled. I promise you that. But yeah, you're right. I smelled it. I went away and came back to it, which is kind of the best way to explore it and wear it and live with it. And then when I came back, I said, we have to
That's
launch
the
this.
one.
That's the one.
That's the one.
Yeah.
And then so the one nice thing to work with Chris is that we met for the first time. You didn't know me. We kind of met, but also like basically I just brought a lot of like my small pepites, my small diamonds. What I love, and like I have this little box in my office that like I try to create new accords here and there, and then you just like put it on the side, and you're like, all right, like when I meet the right person, the right moment, etc., you can pull it up. And this one I didn't actually. I had a little bit in my box, I didn't think about it, and then one of my coworker Bella just like, no, that's we should show him this one. And this one, so it came out from this clash. I love to work with like clash and contrast. And tonight you're gonna smell two raw materials that I thought could be nice to clash. One of them is being Orris, and the second is being the Oud. And what I think is very interesting for this fragrance is that Chris living in New York and like being American and like selling everywhere in the world, but like also a lot in US. I think it's very interesting to introduce oud in a gourmand way for your brand and for the market. And that was also the intention behind, just to create something new for this special market that we are in, and make it addictive, sensual, lust, and we can smell these two ingredients. One good thing about it is like, I created this accord, but I had like complete freedom. Like I had just myself, my creativity, no price, nothing, I just like had fun.
If I may, so I would think I was telling someone in the kitchen, the way that I like to work with the perfumers is usually they get a brief and there's a price and there's, confinements. And I think the reason why some of the perfumers love to work with me, because I say, do what you want, be free, create something crazy, do something out of the box, because that is exactly what my brand stands for. It's being disruptive, it's being different. And I say, go crazy. Some things work, some things hit as soon as I smell it, but no confinements, be free. We will start obviously somewhere kind of, within some sort of parameters, but other than that, go. Yeah. And I love working with perfumers who are excited about that. And you get excited about it because we've actually been working on some other things too, which is down the line. But as soon as I smelled this, I knew that it was it. Anyway, so we're gonna start smelling some notes, some accords. And I think first we want to smell the Orris?
Yes. So before smelling anything, as a perfumer, we're just talking about price. There is a few raw materials that you can use, but are very expensive. And why they're expensive is because they're only harvested in small parts of the world, very small quantities. They're very rich. And the two that we're gonna smell today is basically the one I call gold. Gold for the perfumers is the Orris, the vanilla, and the oud, according to me, and don't quote me, but that's just what I think. And the Orris being the gold of like south of France and Italy, and the oud being the gold of Middle East. And it is very rare we can actually combine both of them. So what you're gonna smell tonight is quite special. The first one is being Orris. And why Orris is because I thought about this contrast, and I am a big part of my world is obviously smells, but I'm also colorblind and I cannot see all of the colors perfectly. But I see gray and black and white very clearly, along with other colors. But for me, Orris has this like silver effect. When I smell it, I smell silver. And then oud, I smell this darkness. And I just thought, that was perfect to like combine these two colors. I mean, look at this. It's like all like dark and gold and silver. So
which fits
I feel that fit
yeah.
perfectly, So I really had this idea of, contrasting these two beautiful ingredients together and creating like a different luminosity in a way and sensuality. So the first one is being Orris. Why everybody loves Orris is because it's very textural, it's very sensual. It's why textural? Because it's somehow fatty but also velvety at the same time,
Very velvety.
Very velvety.
Very smooth floral, very velvety. It gives, in my opinion, every fragrance that Orris is in the heart a very smooth feeling to it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And why it's so expensive is because like it takes 7 years to harvest it. So basically, we plant the first seed, and then it takes like 5 to 7 years to have the first produce. So it's a lot of basically just money sitting in the ground, you know. But the olfactive rendition is just like absolutely beautiful. That's one of our long-lasting raw materials that we have in the palette. And what I just love, you know, it's sometimes you just take a drop of Orris, put on your skin, and then for like 3 weeks you're good with it. You know, it just like stays. Any shower you're taking, it will still be there. You know, because of this fattiness, because it just like blends well with the skin and just lingers like for hours or days. So that's the first one. And then the second raw material we're gonna smell is actually for me it goes along with the Orris in this fragrance. It's a musk. It's a captive musk we have at Firme Niche, and it's called Helvetolide. And I love this one because it's at the same time feminine but masculine. It's very sensual. It's very creamy. It's slightly fruity, which is very interesting for the rest of the fragrance you're gonna discover. And for me, it smells like hot skin. You know, it's just very skin-like.
Thank you.
So I described it, but I don't think Chris smelled it before, just straight Helvetolide. So I want to know, what's your impression?
Wow. You're right. Ooh. This is the first time I've smelled the
Like
fermented musk.
yeah. So at first you have this fruitiness that comes, like
There
it's
is a
bit
fruitiness.
plum, apricot, and then you have this like musk, creamy skin. It's slightly velvety as well, and that's the connection with the Orris for me, because Orris has a little bit of this fruitiness, like almost like a raspberry nut, and then it has this velvetiness, and the Helvetolide really blends well with the Orris because it smooths out the imperfection of the Orris, but also bring it even like more sensual.
The incredible thing about this group is that there's so many perfume enthusiasts who are really smart about fragrance. So, Emma, what do you get when you smell this musk? It's a different kind of musk. Like everyone has their own. Like Feminist has their tradition.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I definitely get the velvety texture, like the through line of the Orris with this. I just feel like it's velvety and it's very soft, and I think the texture aligns really nicely.
it gives a texture.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And usually musk is used in the base, right?
Yes, but so yes, it's usually used in base because it's very long lasting for days basically. But so we have. I won't give you the formula tonight, but like we have 4 musk in this formula.
There's 4 musk in the formula.
There's 4 musk in the formula. Yeah. And one of them being the Helvetolide, which is a captive. The second one being Helvetolide, and then the 2 others you will never know. And
Secret ingredient.
no, but why is because the Helvetolide for me is very creamy and it goes very well in this like velvety effect. The Helvetolide also has this fruitiness, but also the texture. It smells like ambrette, so it's very close to Orris, and it just makes this Orris smells like stay for a long time. But what I love about these 2 musk is they're very toppy, as we say. So like if you smell the fragrance, when you're gonna smell it, you will smell those musk like in the first seconds, and then it will stay forever. The 2 other musk are more technical, I would say, and they just like you won't smell them on top, but like on skin you will see them like lingering and developing, but you won't smell them on top. But Helvetolide, if you put a lot like in this fragrance, you will smell it right from the top.
And there's a lot in the fragrance.
Yeah.
A nice dose. And I think we want to smell the oud, right?
I don't know, do we?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, let's do it.
Let's smell the oud. Yeah. And the oud is is it safe to say a Middle Eastern style woody note? Or
Yeah.
Is it, yeah. But oud is made everywhere. So where's this particular oud?
So this wood, so basically wood, it's a raw material. So it's a wood that we basically have a mushroom that develops, you know, and just create this other part within the wood, and we just take the chips of this excrescence in a way. and it's very expensive. So this one is coming from the best region for oud in the world, which is the Bangladesh.
Is this the Oud Assam?
Yeah, that's the Oud Assam.
Yes.
Which is the purest quality of oud you can find.
This is the purest quality of oud.
I mean, not according to me, to like local people that
According
develop
to me,
it.
according to us, it's
Okay,
fragrance, yeah.
according to you. Huh? But that's also the most expensive one,
Yes.
if you want to know. And why it's special is because, for me, yes, oud has this like slightly dirty, like almost fecal note. But for me, this one has something very particular. Is the velvety note. You see the recurring theme here happening, like the velvety, the sensuality, the femininity, etc. And why I love this one is, yes, because it's very round. It is a little bit animalic and dirty, but for me it's somehow acceptable. Like you can hold the blower on your nose and it's still delicious and has this like dirty, but also somehow cleanliness and texture. And it has one ingredient. It smells like something, but we're gonna discover after, and that's the second link to the fragrance. But
Does
yeah,
anyone
so
have any feeling about the oud that they want to express, Tiff?
yes, it's very velvety, suede, like it's leathery,
Yeah.
and
There's a
also
leather
has
component
a
to it.
little bit of this fattiness, but also the Horace have, and gives this like fullness to the fragrance. But what I love about oud, and I went to Middle East almost a year and a half ago, and I discovered how people use it over there, which is very different. They put oil oud on the skin, on the floor, and they burn it. They burn like a chip of wood being infused in the oud, and they just like basically just like perfume the robe. So there's a whole like use and habits in this world, which is for me absolutely fantastic. But somehow I think this is also an ingredient that we can use much more in the American market, even European or anywhere in the world, because it has something special, and you just have to dose it in a way that like it makes your fragrance different than any others.
And I think what makes the oud facet special is what you kind of round it with, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the ingredients that we're going to get into next. You still get the oud, but it's not an oud fragrance. It is a gourmand that has so many special, different notes and accords. So I think, after I met the Firmenich team, I told them, I said, I want to push the envelope. I want to do more of these ouds. And they were like, you come to the right place. And we started to explore. First, we launched Kingmaker, which is Oud Assam as well. And Lust is like the perfect gourmand mix oud fragrance.
So one thing I want to say, it's when we first talked, yes, we connected, but also I think we had fun.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, of course. We always have fun.
Is it time to have fun?
Yeah, it's time to have fun. Shall we?
All right. Do you have a surprise?
Yeah, I have a surprise. So,
all right, cool. I like that. See?
So the next phase of the smelling is a little bit. We're gonna have some fun. So I need some volunteers who are comfortable being blindfolded. Yeah, we're gonna go there. If you've never been to an event here, it can get a little dark. So, is there anyone who is comfortable getting? So we're gonna taste something. We're gonna smell a few things. So, is anyone comfortable being blindfolded? No one is comfortable being blindfolded? Okay.
All right.
Tiff, you don't want to be blindfolded?
I'll participate.
Emma, anyone on the sofa want to be blindfolded? Listen, I know if you're not comfortable, that's okay. But I think it's a good.
This is a safe place.
And if you want, I can give you a safe word, so everything is fine. If you want to get let out, but I think this is like a good the Scorpios. I think this is a good way to kind of discover the senses of the smell and the taste, and this will kind of tell you the direction as to where Lust is going to end with these two ingredients. So, anyone? One person?
I'll participate.
Good. So do you think that she should taste first or smell first?
Here, first you can pick.
Yes.
Hold on to it.
Do we have the macaroon as well? Yeah. Thanks for being courageous, Tim. You're in a safe place, I promise.
I think everybody can have a treat, no?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna have a treat, but Tiff is gonna be able to. I think what I do a lot of my master classes, I blindfold people because when your senses are confined to what you can smell and what you can taste, it is very elevated. So now you have to kind of live in your own space and you get to taste and smell. So Tiff is a courageous one.
And I want to say, you know, like every day when I work, sometimes it's just really hard, like, and you get tired just to like focus on the notes of a fragrance, you know, especially when you smell so much like we do. And the best thing for me is just like to close the eyes and we smell the same fragrance and you will discover in a complete different way. So it's not random that Chris is asking you to be blindfolded.
Yes, exactly. Even though, yeah. So we're gonna give you a macaroon. Tiff is coming right now. Yes.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Do you want to be blindfolded?
This won't be the first time. Anyways, so once you get your macaroon, if we can all take a bite. These are from my friends over at La Durée. Chocolate hazelnut macaroon. Very sensual. Dark chocolate is one of the notes, one of the ingredients that is always correlated with lust for some reason. Lust is like that desire, that really strong desire, that, you know, feeling of sensuality, and dark chocolate is always correlated with that.
Yep.
So this is the reason why I wanted to, and this is, we're passing around the chocolate note for everyone to smell. And now Tiff gets to smell the notes after she tasted the hazelnut and the chocolate.
Interesting.
Did everyone get a chocolate blotter? So as you can see, the fragrance is made to taste. The taste of the chocolate strongly correlates to the scent of the chocolate in the fragrance.
Now I have a question for Tiffany, who's blindfolded. Do you, right now, okay, you smell chocolate, but if I told you it was oud, would you believe me as well?
No,
Why?
because this, it smells like, to me, this is giving milk chocolate. Like soft and even almost like buttery.
Yes. So buttery is also a word to describe a little bit the Orris and the oud. So I think you just described a very interesting part of the fragrance is this like milkiness.
Yes.
So I'm glad you've been blindfolded because, you know, chocolate, yes, it's very dark, it's very velvety, it's very textural, it's also very addictive, but it has a lot of this creaminess, milkiness, you know. So that's really why chocolate is, because for me it's a good combination between the chocolate and the hazelnut. You know, it makes the hazelnut can be sometimes too green and harsh, but the chocolate makes it more edible in a way. You know.
Yeah, let's do the hazelnut. How you feeling, Tiff? Your safe word is hazelnut, by the way. So we're gonna smell the last note, which is the hazelnut. And to me, this brings the fragrance to a whole different dimension.
This is insane.
Yeah, this is the first time that I've actually worked with the hazelnut note, and it is incredible.
So I'm actually glad that I was blindfolded for this because like I knew it was hazelnut right off the bat. I drink hazelnut coffee, like I am a hazelnut girl.
Right. So once you smell the finished fragrance,
so good.
you're gonna see, in my opinion, how the hazelnut chocolate, dark chocolate has been done before, but with the oud, the orris, and this hazelnut, which walnut is actually in the fragrance.
There's also
But
walnut,
with
yeah.
this hazelnut, takes the fragrance into a whole different dimension.
So basically, I use the dark chocolate to be the common denominator, the link between the Orris and the oud, and so that really makes it more addictive because of this milkiness, fattiness, and velvety effect. And then, you know,
So good, right?
the accord was nice, but it was
made me
almost
close my eyes.
too subtle, too gentle, you know. And then I added hazelnut just to bring this little discomfort, you know, but also addiction, this sharpness, this vibrancy, you know, and that's really what the hazelnut does. The only issue with these two ingredients is that yes, they last long, but not as long as Orris and Oud, etc. So I use also another element, which is the walnut, and the walnut stays forever. And so if you put it on your skin, you will see you have the chocolate, the hazelnut, but this nuttiness will stay thanks to the walnuts.
Was I right in saying that the hazelnut was the secret ingredient to this fragrance?
Yeah, that's the one. All right, we can release you now,
Yes.
Tiffany.
Would you like to use the safe word,
very
Tiff?
good job. I want to say
We
congrats.
can release Tiff from her. Yes. So now we can smell the finished fragrance of Lust Oud Delice, and you can bring together all the notes to get the finish, which to me is the most delicious oud ever created by Alexis. You know, I feel like every creation is like a dance between me and the perfumer. Like, you know, my vision, story, idea, and the perfumer.
I was
bringing that
not
to life.
blindfolded during the dance. I
No.
promise.
No, we actually were not blindfolded, but it's important to kind of work with someone who gets, you know, where you're trying to go. And when I launched, I never came into this business to play it safe. So this one is right up my alley, and you'll get to smell it, and I hope you all love it. Lust Oud Delice.
Thank you.
Isn't it the most delicious oud you've ever smelled? Don't eat the card. We have others, so we have some more chocolate. What do you think, Prez?
Absolutely fantastic. I put it right on the skin.
Thank you.
And I love that hazelnut part because I only like chocolate with something salty.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I smelled this once a while ago.
Yes, you did.
This is a discovery and it is unique. Congratulations to you too.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Congratulations, Alexis.
Thank you. And I think you did great. You know, I think you should really put it on skin more than on blotter. I mean, we always say that, but especially with this type of fragrances that are light but heavy, you know, and especially so much texture, really just put it on skin and enjoy it.
And everyone gets to leave.
Yeah, just, I mean,
Everyone
leaving
gets to
blotter
leave
even
with,
more.
like, a little gift. It actually doesn't launch until next week, Tuesday the 23rd. The fragrance launches, but everyone gets to leave with a little gift of. Anyone want any more chocolate? I'll have another
I'll take
macaron.
I know you will.
Yeah, I know.
I'll take a bite of this one.
This
Thank you.
is really something.
This flavor you guys want?
Thank you.
I came like a virgin.
And you are not any longer.
It's magnificent.
But it's funny on skin, like you see even
so
more of
much
the
better.
hazelnut and
The blotter doesn't do it justice.
No,
You need to do it.
no.
It's addicting. It's amazing.
But the way to get there was fantastic. Well done.
Yeah, it's a whole story, and I think it's always nice to.
It's always
to share the
important to
story.
kind of share the journey of how you got to the point. It's a lot easier to just say, "Here's the fragrance," but the journey is the fun part.
Yeah. But so I have a question for you.
Yeah.
When we first, we presented you and we said it was a oud. Were you scared? Were you like, you wanted to play with oud? Like, what was your first thought?
So
Whatever nothing means.
I've always kind of like pushed my perfumers in the past to say, look, I'm not afraid to use the pure natural ouds. And for the first time, you know, I met perfumers who weren't afraid of it. And I was like, thank goodness, because I wanted to kind of, you know, this is my 14th fragrance. And it was time to kind of like do something a little different, a little special. And when I smelled it, I got the oud, but the oud, in my opinion, wasn't the star. The star is, it's one of the stars, but it plays alongside. It's like, you know, being in a group, you know, the hazelnut and the chocolate and the orris plays with the oud very well. So, and to my knowledge, no one has ever used those combinations.
No.
So it's very unique, and I'm just glad that you presented it to me, and, you know, we get to launch it and share it with the world.
Special.
Special, very special. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed that little journey into the new fragrance. Again, you'll all leave with a little gift, so you'll have the fragrance to smell and to explore and to wear it. And in the meantime, we have more champagne, and we can mingle a little bit more. And if you have any other questions, please feel free. And
Congratulations.
thank you. It's very rare that I get a chance to sit down with a perfumer and actually have a conversation. So this was a highlight for me, and thank you, Alexi, for creating something so special. And
well, thank you for. I mean, I do a little bit of a few launches, you know, but never like so intimate and in your space. And I think it's quite unique, you know. So thank you for inviting us all.
Oh,
you
my
know, I think
pleasure.
it's very.
My pleasure. Yeah. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you.